What happens when you pause and listen to your inner voice? Have you ever wondered about the secrets hidden within your thoughts? Today, we're going to explore the power of being quiet and observing what's going on inside your mind. This video will guide you through the process of uncovering the hidden aspects of your thoughts and show you how this practice can lead to personal growth and a deeper understanding of yourself. Let's start by talking about the noise in our minds. Our brains are constantly buzzing with activity. From the moment we wake up until we fall asleep, there's a continuous stream of thoughts flowing through our consciousness. These thoughts can range from mundane daily tasks to deep existential questions. Sometimes it feels like our minds are running on autopilot, jumping from one idea to the next without any real direction or purpose. This mental chatter has a significant impact on our daily lives. It influences our mood, decisions, and how we interact with the world around us. Often, we're not even aware of how much our thoughts are shaping our experiences. We react to situations based on these internal dialogues without taking the time to question or examine them. But what if we could quiet this noise? What if we could create a space of stillness within our minds? This is where the power of silence comes in. When we learn to be quiet and observe our thoughts, we open up a whole new world of self-discovery and personal growth. Being quiet doesn't mean completely emptying your mind of all thoughts. Instead, it's about creating a mental environment where you can observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. It's like watching clouds pass by in the sky. You see them, but you don't try to hold on to them or push them away. This practice of mental stillness has numerous benefits. First, it helps reduce stress and anxiety. When we're constantly caught up in our thoughts, we often create unnecessary worry and tension. By stepping back and observing, we can see that many of our concerns are not as urgent or important as they first appear. Quieting the mind also improves focus and concentration. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become scattered and distracted. Learning to be still helps us develop the ability to direct our attention where we choose, rather than being pulled in multiple directions by our thoughts. Perhaps most importantly, mental stillness helps reveal hidden thoughts and patterns that we might not notice in the hustle and bustle of daily life. It's like turning down the volume on a noisy street and suddenly being able to hear the subtle sounds of birds chirping or leaves rustling in the wind. Now, you might be wondering how to achieve this mental stillness. There are several simple techniques you can use to calm your mind and begin observing your thoughts. One of the most basic methods is focused breathing. This involves sitting comfortably and directing your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When thoughts arise, gently acknowledge them and return your focus to your breath. Another technique is body scanning. Start at the top of your head and slowly move your attention down through your body, noticing any sensations or tension. This practice helps ground you in the present moment and creates a sense of calm. For those who find it difficult to sit still, walking meditation can be effective. Take a slow, mindful walk, paying attention to each step and the sensations in your body. This combines the benefits of physical movement with mental focus. It's important to remember that these techniques take practice. Don't get discouraged if your mind wanders frequently at first. The goal is not to achieve perfect stillness, but to develop the ability to notice your thoughts without getting caught up in them. As you practice these techniques, you'll start to uncover thought patterns that you might not have been aware of before. You may notice recurring ideas or themes in your thinking. Perhaps you'll realize that certain situations consistently trigger specific emotional responses. Identifying these patterns is a crucial step in increasing self-awareness. When you can see the habitual ways your mind works, you gain the power to choose whether to follow those patterns or create new ones. This process of self-observation also helps you connect with your true self. Often, we identify so strongly with our thoughts that we believe they define who we are. But as you practice being quiet and observing, you'll start to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the one who can choose to engage with them or let them pass by. One common challenge many people face is negative self-talk. These are the critical, judgmental thoughts we have about ourselves. They can be so habitual that we don't even realize how much they're affecting our self-esteem and confidence. By observing your thoughts quietly, you can start to recognize these harmful thought loops. You might notice how often you criticize yourself or how quickly you jump to negative conclusions. Once you're aware of these patterns, you can begin to change them. A helpful strategy for dealing with negative self-talk is to imagine these thoughts as coming from a separate entity, not your true self. When you hear that critical voice, you can choose to respond with kindness and understanding, just as you would to a friend who was being too hard on themselves. As you become more skilled at observing your thoughts, you'll also be able to harness the power of positive thinking more effectively. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to think happy thoughts all the time. Instead, it's about recognizing and nurturing the genuinely positive and constructive thoughts that arise naturally. When you catch yourself having a confident or optimistic thought, take a moment to really feel it. Let it sink in. This practice helps reinforce these positive neural pathways in your brain, making it easier for similar thoughts to arise in the future. Developing a growth mindset is another benefit of quiet observation. A growth mindset is the belief that you can develop your abilities through effort and learning. As you observe your thoughts, you might notice when you're falling into a fixed mindset, thinking that your abilities are set in stone. By recognizing these moments, you can consciously choose to shift to a growth perspective, opening yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities for learning. The practice of quiet observation doesn't have to be limited to formal meditation sessions. You can integrate it into your daily life in many ways. For example, you might take a few moments before responding to an email to notice your thoughts and emotions. Or you could practice being present and observing your mind while waiting in line at the grocery store. As you bring this mindfulness into your everyday activities, you'll likely notice improvements in various areas of your life. You might find that you're better able to focus at work, or that you're more patient in your personal relationships. You may even discover that you're making decisions more aligned with your true values and goals, rather than reacting based on habitual thought patterns. The benefits of quiet observation extend beyond just personal growth. As you become more aware and in control of your own thoughts, you'll likely find that you have a calming effect on those around you. Just as anxiety and stress can be contagious, so can calmness and presence. You might notice that your relationships improve as you become more present and less reactive. By observing your thoughts, you create a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose how you want to interact with others, rather than being driven by automatic reactions. Of course, developing this practice of quiet observation comes with its challenges. One common obstacle is the belief that you don't have time for it. In our busy lives, it can seem impossible to find moments of stillness. However, even a few minutes a day can make a significant difference. Start small, with just a minute or two of focused attention, and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. Another challenge is dealing with restlessness or boredom. When we first start to quiet our minds, we might feel uncomfortable with the lack of constant stimulation. This is normal and temporary. As you continue to practice, you'll likely find that you start to enjoy these moments of stillness and even look forward to them. Consistency is key when developing any new habit, including the practice of quiet observation. It can be helpful to set a specific time each day for your practice, whether it's first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or before bed. Having a regular schedule makes it more likely that you'll stick with it. As you continue this practice over time, you may notice some surprising long-term effects. Research has shown that regular meditation and mindfulness practices can actually change the structure and function of the brain. Areas associated with attention, emotional regulation, and self-awareness can become stronger and more active. This neuroplasticity means that the more you practice observing your thoughts, the easier and more natural it becomes. You're literally rewiring your brain to be more self-aware and less reactive. The process of self-reflection through quiet observation can lead to profound personal growth. As you become more aware of your thoughts and patterns, you may find yourself naturally gravitating towards choices and behaviors that align with your true self. You might discover new interests or passions, or find the courage to pursue long-held dreams. So what are some next steps you can take to start your practice of quiet observation? First, commit to spending just a few minutes each day in silence, focusing on your breath or bodily sensations. You might want to use a timer to help you stay focused. Next, try to bring moments of mindfulness into your daily activities. When you're eating, really pay attention to the taste and texture of your food. When you're walking, notice the sensation of your feet touching the ground. There's no need to judge or criticize yourself if you find your mind wandering. The practice is simply to notice when this happens and gently bring your attention back to the present moment. We started by discussing the constant noise in our minds and how it affects our daily lives. We then explored the power of silence and the benefits of quieting the mind. We looked at techniques for achieving mental stillness and how this practice can help uncover thought patterns and increase self-awareness. We discussed ways to overcome negative self-talk and harness positive thoughts, as well as how to apply mindfulness in daily life. We also touched on the challenges you might face and the long-term impacts of this practice. The goal of quiet observation is not to achieve a perfectly still mind, but to develop a greater awareness of your thoughts and a deeper connection with yourself. This practice has the power to transform your relationship with your own mind and, by extension, your entire life experience. So are you ready to begin your exploration of the secrets hidden within your thoughts? Why not start right now? Take a deep breath, close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and for just a moment be quiet and observe what's happening in your mind. This simple act is your first step on a fascinating journey of self-discovery and personal growth. The power to understand and shape your inner world is within you. All you need to do is be quiet and observe.